Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. I hope the stream is up now. It said there was an error with the streaming service, that it wasn't working. I'm not sure if anyone's in chat or what is going on with it right now. If anyone is there, definitely let me know. Drop some a message in the comments, because I don't know if this is actually working today, which would be pretty sad to see. But of course, we're going to hop in here. We're going to do what we need to get ready for this next hero that is going to be coming. What's going on, Scriper? So is it working? Let me know if you guys see everything. If it is working, do you guys see everything? I'm not sure. Finally, early. Do you see everything? Let me know. Let me know, guys, because again, we're going to hop in here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to farm this up a little bit later on the stream, like I was kind of saying. Okay, we can see everything good. Yeah, it popped up with an error over on Streamlabs and said there's an error with the internet connection, not streaming anything. So great to see that it is coming through loud and clear. Again, today was the first day of flag football. Didn't know exactly how it was going to go, but over here we want to make a little bit more progression, continue some of our progression within the towers. Now, when it comes to the towers, they are the biggest #1 place that you do want to make your progression. Right here in the Dark Forest, this is going to yield you your cards. When it comes to the ability to get those Stargazer Scrolls, this is the place that you're going to farm them out. Now, they're coming every 5 levels. Even looking right here at the World Tree, boom, you can see right here is the Stargazer Scrolls. We have 499 of these already. Trying to farm these up as much as possible, because, of course, the more that I can get for these Stargazer Scrolls, the more that I can accumulate to get the new hero that is coming on Tuesday, the less diamonds that I have to go ahead and spend. And of course, we're still looking to build out the Awakened version of Iran. And there's also a couple heroes that are coming down there, which is kind of crazy, which a lot of players are saying that the next hero that's going to be coming, and it's kind of crazy because we did get Lan not too long ago. Then, of course, we got the Awakened version of Iran that showed up. And I want to try to save some of these diamonds because Dali is kind of alluding to, we are going to see another Draconic hero going to drop with the next patch. So essentially, it'll come up on Global this week with the Celestial hero. And then, of course, we're going to have the introduction of the next hero that is going to be coming up. And players are saying, again, it's going to be a Draconic hero. But they're also saying, and again, this is kind of the speculation with the Dragon Isle, that it is going to be a regular hero. So it is not going to be a highborn Draconic hero. It is going to be a regular Draconic hero, which means we'll be able to fill up this wish list a little bit more. But again, we have to have the diamonds. We have to have the scrolls to actually get them out of here. I'm almost at Diamond 1. That is awesome, Raphael. When it comes to pushing the Heroes of Esperia, there is a ton of loot to be had in there, not only going up kind of level by level, but you want to get to Masters. A lot of players have said that going in there and getting 2 Masters makes a big difference when you really do have the opportunity. And of course, Draconic supplies, this might be changing as well. I heard, again, a rumor that this is going to be kind of more discounted, that we're not going to see it as cost, as much as high of a cost as we see it right now, which again, when it comes to Draconic insignias, they are stupid expensive. When you think about this, guys, right here, it is $100 for 50 Draconic insignias. 50 might not even yield you 1 copy of a hero, which again is kind of crazy for $100 that you might not get a copy of a hero at all, which is the reason why a lot of players, again, still very disappointed that they are doing this. What's going on, Papa? So I'm building numerous heroes for towers. Yes, heroes for towers. Really, the big thing when it comes to the towers, you have to farm these. When you think of the ability, again, to get those Stargazer Scrolls, when you think of the ability to actually come in here and finish out and get all of these time emblems, the towers are going to yield you everything you need to build the heroes. In addition, it does provide you with elemental cores once you make it to a certain spot. So you have to be farming the towers. And again, I cannot stress it enough. When it comes to towers, when it comes to progression, they give you everything you need. And even if you think of the regular tower, so not the faction towers, the regular King's Tower, this is a crazy place to farm not only the hero essence, but also farming the diamonds. This is a part where a lot of players really, I think, kind of overlook the towers. But in here, you can farm a crazy amount of diamonds out of here over a very, very short period of time. Now, looking in here, the team hunt has started. We did score on the leaderboard 96 within the treasure scramble, so that was awesome. Again, got some Stargazer Scrolls right there, got some chests, also did get some time emblems out of there. Very, very happy with the progression we got in there. I have Liberta, Lavatune, Demia, Lucila, and Alna. Who should I stargaze for next? Honestly, Scriper, first perfect time, wait. Wait, honestly, right now, because we know the new hero is dropping in 2 more days. And it was kind of interesting, is because when we seen the new hero drop on the test server, the hero was already being used in the cursed realm. Literally the day that the hero came up, we already seen the hero in formation. So I feel like the Celestial hero is going to have a lot of utility, and we're going to see her built. And I'm assuming, and a lot of players, again, kind of the speculation right now, is the new hero is going to fall right into that like SS or even SSS tier based on what it looks. Does she seem good? Yes. When you think of the functionality of a new hero, when you think of a support hero, pretty much checking all of the boxes with Ariel or Oriella, she is checking pretty much all of the boxes when it comes to building out the heroes and when it comes to the heroes that you do want to build. Again, she is checking a majority of the boxes that we want to see within gameplay. She has the ability to amplify damage. She has the ability to energy battery, which is massive. She has the ability to buff up attack. Everything that we want in a regular hero. Again, she is really bringing it in the entirety, which again, I would wait right now to see where she's going to place, because I feel like using her on the test server, she is going to place pretty high. I was wondering if you should save the Draconic cards or not. The Draconic cards are really hard with the insignias. And look at that, Salva! We have a brand new Hippo supporter. Thank you for the love and support for the channel. And I love seeing the little hippos right there. Very, very cool to see for a Hippo supporter in there. Yeah, saving the cards. A lot of players are saving the cards, and they're saving the cards. I don't know if you mean the insignias or the scrolls. A lot of players, Sunrise, are actually saving the scrolls within the Dragon Isle, and they're saving the scrolls until they get to essentially the 5 heroes. Now, this is very, very double-edged when it comes to saving the cards, when it comes to not saving the cards, because if you're not using any of your cards, which again, a lot of the scrolls, a lot of the insignias, players are not using, meaning you're not going to level up the Worm Scale Sanctuary, and you're not going to be able to make any progression at all within the Dragon Forge because you're saving the cards. If you can't make progression in the Dragon Forge, you're not going to be able to use the Dragon Forge shop. You're not going to be able to get the insignias and the scrolls out of there. So again, it's kind of a give and take, or kind of a double-edged sword, where if you use all your resources now, you'll have the ability to get more resources in the Dragon Forge. If you don't get the resources, or if you don't use them now, you can summon the heroes later, which again, looking at where the heroes are, looking at Nyla, looking at Lan, looking at Melion, looking at Gwen, looking at even Hildwyn, the heroes are being used, and they're being used in a lot of different places. And I feel like I wanted to make early Forge progression because of the rewards that we get out of here to get additional copies of those heroes themselves. It makes a really big difference. Can you show your Soren and Riz teams? So 240, Leo, I'll show you what they have. So this was actually over on Discord, which of course, when you think of the guild hunt, it's very, very easy at my level to go in here and challenge this with pretty much whatever. But what we've been doing and what kills this, I believe the formation that actually killed it was swapping in Lavatune in here. And I think the twins were put out of here, but I believe Lavatune was in here when we looked at the kill at 240. It's on Reddit. I can share it with you later, but looking in here, they had Lavatune in here, and I don't think they ran, I don't think they had Rosaline in here, but I know Palmer was in here, and I forget who else they had just offhand. But again, when you start getting higher levels, it's very, very easy to kill. And the way that they did this was actually murking the Awakened version of Belinda. The rest of the support heroes within here, they did have availability to, so they went in there. And again, when it comes to my team specifically, because I'm on level 924, it's going to be very, very fast to get through here, and it might even lag it out, but you can see literally, I mean, where the damage is. We spent 12 seconds and Riz is dead because of the levels. But again, it's over on Reddit. They have both the team of Riz, they have the team of Soren, that they killed it at 240 very, very easily. Now, of course, it was a strong team. There, a regular player, I feel like, is not going to come in here just with a baseline with a couple different heroes. They had all 5 heroes at level 240, and they had a couple of the heroes, couple of the support heroes built up a little bit further and engraved, which means it is a whale account. Had some big beasts in there, which again, whale account, but I don't think we've seen it with a regular account below about 420 to 450 when we've seen them really build it out. Can I get some heroes, 2 teams for Maulers and the Hypos? Maulers, honestly, if you have any of the Awakened ones, if you build out the Awakened version of Sophia, it's big. But when you think of tower progression, even looking here, Naruko does incredibly well, has utility outside of the towers. Even looking at like Vika, Vika's another one, has utility in and outside of the towers. And I'm very hesitant. Villanelle would be another one, but I'm very hesitant because I don't want you to build a bunch of heroes for the Mauler Tower that essentially are only built for the Mauler Tower. Now, what I mean by that is when we start looking at formations, there was a time where, yep, the Awakened version of Antandra absolutely crushing it. You can see right in here, there is Sophia, there is Vika, but there is Naruko. And then, of course, in here, there's Villanelle and Brutus. Works incredibly well. But when you think of, Antandra, the original version, not being used anywhere else, and a lot of these heroes, short of the tower, not being used, and I really am really hesitant to build heroes outside of the tower. But thinking of regular heroes that I would build in here, Naruko, absolutely. Villanelle, absolutely. Vika, absolutely. All 3 of those are being used in multiple facets. Even outside of that Mauler Tower, we are still seeing them used a lot of times. And honestly, Mauler faction, I would build Sophia probably before I built anyone else, just because of where she is being utilized and how she is being utilized. What's going on, Hyped? I am also 1 purchase away from 1-starring Eugene. Yeah, 1-starring Eugene, and this is another thing to remember, is on Tuesday, these stores are getting refreshed. So there is going to be an update to the store. There's an update to the Dream store. They're actually adding 2 more heroes in there. The Guild store is getting insignias. The Guild store is getting Hildwyn. So we're going to have the ability to actually pull both of those. The insignias, in my opinion, once you get Eugene to 1-star, I would focus all my entirety on getting the insignias. Once you get Eugene to 1-star, which a lot of you are probably close with all of the copies, but looking at getting Eugene to 1-star, then I would flip it over to Hildwyn, and that's what I'm doing. So I am actually going to save my insignias, slow build Hildwyn. We need 2 more copies of Hildwyn. I'm going to start building out land just for the simple utility that we have with the hero, which I think in here we don't even have enough to get him. But knowing that, again, knowing that Hildwyn is coming to the store, land becomes the ultimate priority for the summoning aspect of this, because we know Hildwyn we can get from the store. And of course, it might take a little bit to get those last 2 copies that I need of him, but they are coming to do the engraving, which is going to be good. Yeah, Audrey, Demia, Flora, they're all, yeah, seasonal heroes. And a lot of players are saying the new seasonal hero we're getting, or the new hero, is the Thanksgiving hero that we're seeing. Stuck at stage 33. What do I need? And should I take copy from every hero, start building 1 by 1? Yes, Kring, 1 by 1 is the way. So focus on 1 hero, like we've said a couple times before. Focusing on 1 single hero is imperative. You can't split your resources. You don't have enough resources within AFK Arena to split the resources and go a bunch of different heroes, a bunch of different ways. You have to focus build up to essentially the primary part that you want to, whether it's building out some engraving, but there is going to be a point where you do want to build a hero out in their entirety before moving on to the next hero. And with that, the way that I build them is I build 1 that is of the 4 primary factions. I build 1 that is a Celestial or a Hypo, and I build 1 that is the Awakened heroes. That way you kind of have all 3 summoning buckets that are kind of covered in there, and getting them and building out in their entirety is going to take a little bit. Have I played the Temple Rift? Yeah, we're already on floor. I forget even where I stopped. I think I stopped when we hit the 4 teams, which right here in the Temple Rift, I believe, yeah, when we hit the 4 teams, I stopped. I'm at 162. 162 already. I got to set my 4th team in here. This is actually where we stopped. So I'm going to have to go in there, set the team, get that all set. And then, of course, we did pick up our monthly cards. Gives us a little bit more of our resources out of here for picking up both those monthly cards. But yes, Temple Rift, you talk about a crazy place that they continue adding more loot to. Temple Rift is actually a massive place. Another one for the guild boss hyped is Ivan. when you think of the build, and Ivan might have been in the formation, Ivan can amplify the damage. And again, you want to center everything around the awakened version of Belinda. Even if you have to borrow her, if you have to merc her, you can get a ton of damage out of there running 4 support heroes, regardless of really the support you have. And then that awakened version of Belinda is worth it. Is Rem worth the 80 engraving? The only time that heroes are worth the 80 engraving, even here I don't have 80 engraving in Rem, is if you're very, very high PvP focused, Raphael, because it is very, very expensive. Now, of course, if you look here, we took Rem to 67, focused on building some of the attack aspects up for Rem. But of course, you have to take it with a grain of salt because Rem is also an older hero. Short of the PvP aspect, maybe a niche formation in like the Nightmare Corridor or Cursed Realm, but short of the PvP, and even now we're starting to see Rem being replaced in PvP formations with the awakened version of Iran. So he is starting the Iran Alna combination is doing incredibly well versus running Alna Rem, they're running Alna Iran. And again, that might be something that we're going to see building up a little bit. I only built up 2 good Maulers, Villanelle and Naruko. Yeah, if you build up the 2 Maulers, if you do Villanelle and Naruko, they're both going to do well, but you are going to struggle with the Mauler Tower. And you will. The Mauler Tower has always been the most difficult to go in there. It is very, very hard when you start getting to multiple teams. You're right with Sophia, although 8 copies, 405 pulled, now Mythic Plus, need 3 more. That is awesome, Echo. Yes, like I said, out of the Maulers, even thinking utility-wise, thinking of an awakened support hero like the awakened version of Sophia, you can put her in a lot of formations and she will do incredibly well. It's a hero that has a lot of utility. That's why utility-wise still stays very high in the tier list because you can put her in a lot of different formations and she will do incredibly well. What about Iran? So the awakened version of Iran is doing pretty well overall. Let me hop in here and show you kind of what I'm talking about. And look at that, Mesmer, we have member number 2. We have no subscribers yet, which we shoot for 5 every time, but absolutely cool to see that we have some new hippos in here, some new supporters to the channel. Guys, thank you for the love and support. It is awesome to see. By the way, today I got land from a basic 10x Dragon Summons. That's awesome, Echo. We have gotten quite a bit of those through the years, through the summons that we did. We've actually gotten quite a bit. So let's look for Iran. This, of course, is, again, based on the iteration. We have the awakened version of Entendre right there. There is Lucius. We have Belinda, which is in there. There is Gwen. There is Iran. So this is the second iteration that we've seen that is running the awakened version of Iran. And also in the Nightmare Corridor, they are running the awakened version of Iran as well. So again, utility-wise, we're starting to see him running formations. Not saying he's going to be in every formation, but we are also seeing him being run within the Temple Rift, or excuse me, Treasure Scramble. Treasure Scramble, we are starting to see him being run in some formations as well, which means now he has utility in the Cursed Realm. We are seeing utility with him in the Nightmare Realm, and then we are starting to see him in some formations in here, and right there he is run. Again, this is running the only Iran together. So we're starting to see him in a multitude of game modes right now, which for me kind of makes me think of, yes, he's going to be worth building because now we're seeing him in all 3 of the primary game modes. And of course, it's without saying, World Tree, absolutely, he is going to be used when you think of a hero that is as strong as that awakened version of Iran. As heroes continue to build him, right there he's being used already in formations. He's just going to pick up more and more utility as players kind of figure out exactly where he is going to be used and exactly how he was going to be used. And look at that. Big shout out to Echo. Gifted a membership. So membership going out to someone else, which goes to Nihiri. Nihiri, congratulations on the membership. It's awesome. Again, just like next to Mesmer's name, to see all of those. What's going on, Purple Butterfly? I believe that's Carol, if I remember correctly. Should I build Leica or Iran? Honestly, Subhan, either one. When you think of right now, the awakened version of Leica is SSS class, absolutely being in that top tier right now. Yeah, Leica is still there. Iran, I feel like, is going to be there. I feel like it's going to be a little bit further or a little bit of time before Iran is worked into the formations. But you also have to remember, when you think big picture, if you're building the awakened version of Leica or the awakened version of Iran, both of those heroes do have a lot of utility. and they will continue to have a lot of utility. If you think, again, kind of remembering the big picture idea, if you're building out one or the other, both of them are going to have utility in specific game modes. And it's not like because another hero comes out, the Awakened hero all of a sudden has absolutely no use. They're not being used anywhere. They are still going to be worked in formations. And it's also gotten to the point with 3 years of Awakened heroes that we are seeing Awakened heroes run together with other Awakened heroes. So again, utility-wise, yes, it's absolutely going to be there for a while. And I feel like with the Awakened version of Laika, she's pretty unique in the build. She's pretty unique on exactly how she works. So I don't see the utility for that hero going anywhere anytime soon. Honestly, I don't see that utility going anywhere. As a free-to-play, what Awakened should I build? Athalia or Chimera? Athalia. I still like Athalia. I will play AFK forever, so just decided. Very cool. Yeah, AFK, guys, I love the game. I still really do enjoy playing the game, just like what Carol said, but I also enjoy being able to talk to you guys about the game too. This is one of the things that I absolutely do look forward to on a weekly basis, being able to hop in here, talk to people about the game that I love to play. And guys, I play this game every day. For 5 years, it's been every day. It's almost, I want to see, maybe it'll break my World of Warcraft record of 10 plus years, but overall, it's a ton of fun to still play this. Truer statement has never been made. Mauler Tower sucks. It's been that way. So if you guys remember, ever since really the beginning of AFK Arena, the Mauler Tower has always been the struggle. The Mauler Tower has always been tough. And even now, the Mauler Tower in general has gotten better. And there we go, guys. 504 Stargazer Scrolls. The Mauler Tower has gotten a lot better, and it really, really improved a ton when we picked up the Awakened version of Brutus. Brutus was a godsend for the Maulers. When we got the Awakened version of Brutus, you actually had the ability to push through a lot of content, literally with him carrying. Up until that point, even support heroes short of Sophia, the support heroes for the Maulers very, very underperform where we see every other hero. I don't know, it's almost like the Maulers are kind of the black sheep of AFK Arena, and they never give them really good, solid, strong heroes. It's sad, but that's kind of what we've seen forever. Any good Hypo out there to help with the tower? Hypo, if you have Lavatune, it is, what's his name? Kelthin. Kelthin is the other one. So when you think of the other good Hypo, Kelthin Mystical is the one that is running a lot of different formations right now and doing very, very well. Kelthin does very well. Kelthin has a lot of utility. Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, also being used in the Treasure Scramble. But when you think of the Hypo Tower, he is the one that is running the Hypo Tower. He single-handedly can run a team in the Hypo Tower. It works very, very well within there. Got to push into Masters, yes. It seems like Masters are getting a lot easier. AFK Arena free-to-play. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, definitely check out his YouTube channel. It seems like Heroes of Esperia, I've seen some players that are very, very low as far as combat power, and they still push right into Masters with almost no problem. Why is Misha being used? I got her 30960, but her ult is just causing my team to die. So a lot of Misha is being used within the Cursed Realm, Nightmare Corridor, and the Treasure Scramble. The way that she functions, the way that she works, they are using, they're using Misha a lot. New hero going to be meta. I would probably say, again, way, way early, guys. New hero is going to be meta. I would say yes. I know, again, it is very, very early to get into where's the new hero going to be placed, how are they going to be built. It seems like the new hero, yes, is going to have a lot of utility. We're already seeing the new hero being used over on the test server, which means when she comes up global, I can see a lot of players working her into a lot of formations like we've seen in the past. I would, again, personally, I would say absolutely yes. We're going to see a lot of the new hero being used. And again, Misha is being used not only in the Wilder Tower, but also pretty much everywhere else. Should we worry about this game going away for all the new versions? It won't go away anywhere. So when you think of the game, even when you think of how profitable the game is, they are still, I believe, in the top 10. AFK Arena still ranks very, very high in the top 10. And again, there's not going to be any time in the foreseeable future where this game is going to go anywhere. that they're going to shut it down, that they're going to stop it. This game is still with everything, all the, all the perks, all the things players hate and love. They adjusted a lot. This game still does incredibly well. It really does earn a ton of money. Yeah. And again, if they turn it around, if they listen to the player base, if they do, what they've always done, if there's problems with the game, if there's fundamental issues with the game, Lilith has always adjusted them. We have always changed them. Maybe not as fast as we want to see the changes, but they have slowly implemented changes, even thinking of, different game modes like collections, where they've started making it a lot easier to get the collections. They've made it a lot easier to get the totems out of the Stargazer, the totems out of the Temple of Time. They have started adding a lot more into the game itself, just to make really the game easier, the game work better, the functionality to be there. It's going to take time. If they add a star that gives us staffs, if they add a couple more things, again, they really do listen to the player base, which is good to see. Having all S plus awakens, Awaken Lucius or Iran. Right now, crazy, it's going to be either. When you think of both of those, so the Awakened version of Lucius and the Awakened version of Iran, they are both being used in almost the exact same places, and they are going to continue to be used in a bunch of different places. Absolutely. What should I be gazing for now that my Liberta is 1 star? After Liberta is 1 star, it is going to be Lavatune or it is going to be Demia. Really your choice at that time, because both of those heroes do incredibly well in a ton of different game modes. Either of those will do really well. Should I have 1 copy from every hero is a bad? You can, Kring. There's some places that do use them, but if you're summoning straight for those heroes, you'll get them in time. You get them with summons, you get them with stones, you get them in a few different ways. This one, I think we need Misha and we need Nevi in here. So there's Nevi. Misha's another one. I do have to add some more stars on. We don't have any stars at this point, but we could definitely pick some out. I tried to hit 2 stars, but I cannot. All the many enemies, all good, high build. Yeah, it's adding stars on there. I don't recommend it. When we think of adding stars to heroes, especially when it comes to the Awakened heroes, when it comes to Celestials and Hypos, getting them over 1 star, so adding 2, 3, 4 stars, is not really worth it. If you're an average player, if you're not putting money into AFK Arena, there is no reason to really build them any higher than the base level, because it gets very, very expensive. And it gets very expensive very fast when you think of the builds. When you start putting in hundreds of Stargazer scrolls, it really keeps you from either adding some more copies of those Awakened heroes, or on the flip side, you're not able to get the Celestials and the Hypos that you need to summon because you spent it all on the Awakened heroes and adding copies on there. It does really make a big difference. Again, I wouldn't recommend taking them past 1 star unless you're going and you really want to be competitive in AFK Arena and you are putting really, honestly, money into the game. Free-to-play players, the heroes come out at such a fast pace that it's hard to keep up as we see it today for a majority of players, unless, of course, you are, have a really solid built account or you're making regular contributions into AFK Arena. It does make a big difference. I'm new. I'm stuck in Diamond 3, only have 2.5 teams. The thing hyped is when you think of the progression within the Heroes of Esperia, is as we get closer to the end of the event, you can make a lot more progression, because as we have larger players that push up into Masters, that push up into the higher levels, and really moving out of the Diamond 3, the last day of progression is where you see the absolute most amount of movement, because a lot of players are pushing much higher in that final day, which makes it easier for a lot of lower level players to, again, make a ton of progression at that time, because all of the larger players already have moved through. I have Athalia, Belinda, Leica, Shimira, Sophia. Who should I go for next? Lucius would work. Iran would work. Zomax. Either one of those would definitely work. 80% hate and 20% love, but still playing. The thing is, guys, the way that I picture it, in the way that I see it, in the way that I still find this game is enjoyable. And of course, it's going to be very, very different for a lot of different players. Let me see. I think I needed, who was it? Was it Alero? Alero and Peggy. That's a funny combination. So let's grab Peggy real quick before I forget who we're looking for. There's Peggy. And then we are looking for Alero. Again, Mauler support. When you think of a hero like Alero, Very, very sad to see. But like I was saying, when you think of AFK Arena, to make progression in this and to be competitive in AFK Arena comes with a very, very large price tag. This, I feel like, where a lot of players do get burnt out, and they do get burnt out very fast, is if you want to be competitive, and I mean truly be competitive in AFK Arena, you have to put a lot of money into it. That's it. Just like normal gacha games, when you think of pretty much even AFK Journey, when you think of Raid Shadow Legends, when you think of any game, any gacha game, you're going to have to put a lot of money into it if you want to be very competitive. And that is the nature, that is the business structure, that is just the way that the games are built. That's it, period. So if you're not willing to put in the money, it's going to be hard to be super competitive within the game itself. Looks like they're running Iran. Yes. So remember, Draconic Heroes, that one guy, the Awakened version of Iran is part Draconic. So he does have Draconic damage. If you guys realize, and I'll show you when we hop in here, this is Celestials and Hypos. But when you look at Iran, he does have Draconic damage. So if you break down the skills and abilities, Dragon Speak damage is in here, which means when you think of the formations where they're running Iran with the Draconic Heroes, especially with Melion. Now, Melion buffs Draconic Heroes. He is part Draconic Hero. He has Dragon Speak damage. Melion can buff the Dragon Speak damage that he does, making him very, very imperative to run together because the amplification of the Dragon Speak damage, he is part dragon. That is the big part, is he is part dragon in there. Do you have any comps for Awakened Lucius and Belinda? Does Lucius slowly replace Belinda in terms of comps? Not really. They're not run together, Martin. They are run kind of independently, is where we're seeing them right now. They're not being run together with the Awakened version of Belinda and Lucius. It's one or the other. The big thing with Lucius is you have to keep him alive. That is the biggest thing that we see with the Awakened version of Lucius. If he takes early damage, he dies, and he dies very, very fast. Trying to progress without summoning on my alt. What hero should I build? Logan, if you're not summoning, what hero should I build? You can build anyone that is going to carry you. It's going to be very, very hard. Is Peggy worth building? No. No, Peggy is not worth building at all, guys. Peggy is so far forgotten down the ladder. I don't even use her anymore for the Lightbearer Tower at all. Peggy, nope. Peggy, unfortunately, is one that has come kind of went to the curb as we make progression. Not really worth it at all. Heroes that work at just Elite or Elite Plus copies. Most of the support, Sandesh. So that's the big thing. So there are really two classifications. Heroes that work at Elite and Elite Plus. When you think of support heroes work at a very high level. Support heroes also work at somewhat of a basic level. When you think of your damage dealers are the ones that in their entirety are reliant on stats. The higher that you build out all of your damage dealing heroes, the better they're going to perform because, again, they are based and they require stats to do the damage that they need. Let's pop them in these chests. I think I have a bunch of summons. And you also notice, guys, I am rebuilding Wukong. If you guys remember when we did the swap, we actually swapped another Celestial hero for Wukong, and I believe it was Tarnos that we built out of here. So we are rebuilding Wukong out of the Labyrinth store. Again, there's no reason to build him out, but the reason why I'm building Wukong is at 5 stars, I have the ability in the Rickety Cart to swap them. So if there's another swap event that comes up, I still have a 5-star Flora, and I'm going to build another 5-star Wukong. Again, I don't advise you buying Wukong out of the shop. There's no real purpose for it, especially with the changes that are coming with the Labyrinth store. But overall, Wukong is one that I have been repurchasing because we did the swap. And again, in the future, we're going to do the exact same. We're going to take Wukong, we're going to swap him again, or I'm going to swap Flora because, again, most of those are not being used, even though Flora is still seeing a little bit of use with the regular progression with the Sol team. We're still seeing a lot more in there. Yeah, Peggy Y, that's pretty funny. Which supports don't have ads at stream? Not sure what you mean, Echo. Not sure what you mean. Like Awakened Entendre, they have Draconic Gem. Yeah, and that's where they're kind of incorporating some of the Draconic heroes into what it is. So there we go. So we have 5 summons in here. Boom, what do we get? Nothing but recycled heroes. We got a chance right here, Superb Elite Stone. This could be an opportunity to get an Awakened hero. It is going to be a copy of Leica, so unfortunately not the Awakened version. Let's see, I think we do have a couple more summons in here. Then, of course, we do add, I believe that is another copy of Wukong. That takes him to Legendary Plus, and I forgot about buying him out for a little bit until I actually checked out the store, but that does take him to Legendary Plus. Love the skin they put on Wukong. It's really cool. And I know a lot of players have been playing the Black Wukong, which seemed really, really cool. I've caught a couple clips on it on different places, but it seemed pretty cool overall. There we go, guys. That is 925. Crazy, crazy. So, of course, we're saving our Temple of Time. We're saving all of these. We're at 79,000 already. We have a couple summons in here, so we can go ahead and pop these. Again, looking for another copy of Misha would be a good one. Even looking here at the Light Bearers, I'm not too worried about just one single summon, because unfortunately we cannot get the Awakened heroes in there, but we do have 3 summons with our companion points. This gives us a shot at the Awakened heroes every single time that we do this. Maybe, just maybe, nothing out of all of those summons. Nothing again. Can you do a support tier list? I can, Primo. I mean, when you think of a tier list itself, it's very, very easy. When you look at my tier list that I put out for September, just pick out the support heroes. It does essentially the big thing, even breaking it into a support hero tier list. It's going to be kind of the same between both of those. Should I build Awakened Lucius or Iran? Honestly, we know the Awakened version of Lucius is being used right now. You know, Iran is going to be coming, and seems like both of them are going to be used in a lot of different places. It seems like both of them, again, are going to have a lot of different utility in a bunch of different places. Just going to take some time. We're going to have to see. But right now, I mean, thinking of how new the Awakened version of Iran is right now, he is being used in all 3 of the primary game modes. You add in the tower, you add in probably campaign formations, I'm assuming, but he is being used in a bunch of different places right now. But again, the Awakened version of Lucius, the exact same. They are being used in a bunch of different places as well. Could you tell us how to build a level 3 artifact? Sure. So level 3 artifacts, there's only one way to guarantee a level 3 collection in here. There is only one way to guarantee it. Now I say, when it comes to guaranteeing it, 100% guaranteed that you will get a level 3 collection. Again, there's only one way. And look at that double right there. When you look at your Bazaar totems, you can choose a Miracle Worker. That is going to be your first one. The second Bazaar totem is going to be your level. I don't know if I can see these, but the second one right here is going to be your level. Miracle Worker, your level. The only guaranteed way to get the third one is right here, the custom skill scroll. This, of course, is going to give you a level up. So when you think about it, again, thinking of your collection in the entirety, Miracle Worker unlocks the secondary slot. The totem that gives you the level up totem, the level up mythic totem gives you the ability to get your +1 level up. This is going to guarantee you your +2 level up. All of those in conjunction together can work. Now, a lot of players do use this level up, and with this, you can hope, fingers crossed, that you can get a second level up with this one, but it is not guaranteed. That is something to really, really remember. If I'm running Miracle Worker, I guarantee, and I always do run right here, the Farewell Gift, the +1 skill level, to guarantee it. Again, if I run my Mythic level up, plus the Epic level up, you could get both of them in there naturally if you don't always run with this card in the back pocket, and that will guarantee you 100% that you are going to build a level 3 collection. Similar to what I have here, we have both of the skill levels. It is the only way to guarantee having a level 3 collection, period. That is it, Mito. That is the only way to guarantee it in its entirety, is to run both the Miracle Worker plus that skill up, and then having the extra card will guarantee it in its entirety. Can we have a new engraving guide? Yeah, we can. Engraving is tough because there are 150 heroes. It's incredibly hard with the engraving, but yes, we can definitely crazy. I can do something with the new engraving guide. You know what I wish they would do? Awaken Wukong and turn him into a dimensional hero. That would be cool. That would be cool if they did an awakened or even a dimensional Black Wukong. That would be a possibility, could be a possibility, which would be kind of interesting. Run a Ghoulish Gallery. We can run a Ghoulish Gallery in here. So if I don't have the actual necessary totems, you can see right in here, I don't have a combination of bizarre totems that I want to use. I do have, I think, a couple custom cards. How many do I have? So here we have none. Here I have none. So I only have the level up. So within here, you can do it a couple different ways. You can run some of your epics, which I do not recommend. Even looking here in the cage, I combine all of these. The point of this really is to get legendary bizarre totems. That's it. That is the only way that you're going to get the best collections that you want. That is the only way that you're going to build them in the entirety. This is where I use all of these, and we're not going to have enough to actually get a legendary totem, but I build up all the legendary totems. If I'm running a regular collection like now, is I can drop something in here and we can literally just see what we get without using my totems. Because again, the blue we want to turn to purple, the purple we want to put to the gold. That is where we want to use them. I could random it in here and see what we could get, but overall looking at this, I want to save them to use the ideal bizarre totems together and using 3 of the bizarre totems together. Now, the reason for this, Primo, is because when you get this unlocked, right in the bottom, you are guaranteed 3 mythic abilities if you use 3 legendary bizarre totems when exploring. So I make sure when I'm running a collection, I am running 3 bizarre totems in their entirety. That's it. You have to run all 3 legendary bizarre totems together to guarantee you're getting 3 mythic abilities. And of course, using these, we've been using them systematically to try to level up the collections. Now, if you guys don't know about the collections, this is probably one of the absolute biggest pain in the butts that we've seen when it comes to these collections is when you go in here and you modify, you can see I have 4 unlock slots in the bottom. I have 30 of 70. So 30 of 70, I have to use 40 more legendary bizarre totems to unlock the 5th slot in here. And of course, this only applies to Athalia's collection. It doesn't apply to any other collection. Every collection we have in this game has its own modifier. Even here, so trying to get these unlocked at 3, trying to get these unlocked at 4 is incredibly stupid expensive, because even here I have to use 4 more legendary bizarre totems to unlock this 3rd slot. And then of course, to unlock the other one, I believe I have to go from 10 to 30, then it's 30 to 70, and then I believe it's over 100. So the amount, when you think about the consumption of the bizarre totems, the amount that you have to use in here is crazy. They don't share any of the timers. They don't share any of the cooldowns to unlock multiple slots. So even looking at some of these that I have horrible collections, you can see I have only ever used 4 legendary bizarre totems on the collection right here. It's crazy. It is crazy still how expensive they are. And of course, they're locked behind the diamond paywall when it comes to getting the arcane staffs. This is the only place that you can get them on a regular basis. They need to really revamp again some of this, add the arcane staffs to the AFK rewards right in here would be the ideal place to get these on a regular basis. That way you can get the staffs you need to actually build them. It's crazy. So even then, a lot of times what I'll do is just skip through here, because if you're also not aware, when you go through and you run a regular run, let's say we'll use Zoras, we're not going to use any totems at all because you can recycle these. You can actually get some free diamonds. I know it's not much, but it doesn't make a difference really whatever you're running. And honestly, we have seen some players get really lucky. There's an attack that players have gotten very lucky with some of the collections in here, not running any totems, because again, my blue ones and my purple totems, I want to save those for where we're building those up and where essentially we're going to be using them in the entirety. There we go. There's a damage resist. And essentially, if we go through here, like I said, we can go through, let's re-roll this just because again, we're not really doing it. Full HP. There's another full HP. Let's go ahead and reset one more of these. Boom, there's a full erosion. And of course, a full defense. So we can swap, let's say even erosion for down here. Let's do an attack. We'll do a regular attack. There we go. So even looking here with no totems, we still pulled out, what did we get in its entirety? Let's replicate our attack. So we'll have another orange attack. There we go. Quick explore, and we'll go ahead and end. So 1, 2, 3. We got 3 mythics out of here with 0 totems. Just like that, Primo. So again, we can save this, but also you can just go ahead and recycle it if you want right there. Yields a total of 3 abilities of mythic quality. This collection has not been etched. If we recycle it, and again, you're getting free diamonds out of here, but we can go ahead, we can throw whatever we have in here. If we're going to use it on someone, great. We're probably not going to, so it's kind of whatever it is at that point. But again, you can go in here and you can find some pretty decent ones just by not really using anything at all. Even looking here, we have insight. See, neither of them really worth anything for a majority of it. So coming down here, we have some tenacity, we have some HP. We'll throw some HP on there. And there we go. We got a collection just like that. Again, you can take this collection, you can recycle it for the diamonds. You can do whatever you want to, but we did without using any totems at all. Literally just picked up 3 of our abilities, which is cool. It's very, very cool to see that we can pick it up pretty easy. I would like to see a vid about heroes we can use in place of Awakened Heroes in Nightmare Corridor and Curse Realm for early game. A lot of those, it's hard because a lot of them are changing formations. If you don't have the Awakened Heroes, it's not like you can swap out an Awakened version of Leica for a regular version of Leica. There are some that you can, but some, the formation doesn't work at all, really, until you get to a lot of higher places or a lot of those heroes. Again, it's a little difficult just to swap a hero for a hero because a lot of times it will change the formations in their entirety, which does make it kind of hard. I wanted to ask how the new event works. So the new event, you just get the dailies. If you mean the new night one, in here you get the dailies. So you do get these rings every single day, which are right here. If it'll let me click this, the Oath ring comes in here. And of course, when it comes to the event itself, when it comes to the night path, you are capped as free to play at 540. So you will never see this chest unless you're buying the 99-cent pack or higher. If you're putting something in here, you are just going to get the daily chest. You're just going to get the freebies that drop out of here. Then, of course, if you're looking at the rewards, this is where you can swap it for heroes. You can swap it for resources, whatever you kind of need in here, whatever you want. Honestly, I would not get the Draconic Heroes. They're very, very expensive when it comes to building it out. Number one priority that I would do in here would be baits. If you're not sitting already on Beast Resonance level 18, I would buy the baits out of here and buy them religiously until you hit to 18, and then all of your beasts will be on level 18 going forward. And then the other two, of course, are the elemental cores and right up here with our red chests. Depending on where you are, depending where your meta heroes are, if they need higher signature items versus engraving or vice versa is going to be dependent on what you want to buy and what you want to focus on. For me personally, I usually swap between the two. I will usually buy a lot more cores than I do chests because I do get a significant amount of cores, or excuse me, a significant amount of chests when it comes to the daily cards and the deluxe cards. So right here is another 500 elemental cores. That is massive with the new hero that is going to be coming down the pipeline. Yeah, the King's Path. Yeah, and that's it. So King's Path, guys, is super, super basic, super simple. There's nothing you have to do except your dailies. If you are doing your dailies every single day, that is the King's Path in its entirety. You can see we did spend, I believe, $6 in here to pick up a couple more of those to get essentially some more engraving mats, get some more chests out of there. And even in here, guys, this is the final one. We're getting Champions of Esperia. Twisted Bounties, I have not been buying. Riga Rewards, we have not been buying. So even thinking here, it is going to be $24.99 for here. This is 15, which 24, 34, that puts us at 40 and 5. So we've been spending $45 in here. That's it. That is all that we have been doing is the $45 in here. So could I technically spam Ghoulish Gallery without totems and wait until I get lucky? You can, but you're not going to have the best collections because you can't build a ton of them, Scriper. That's the problem, is when you're looking at the Ghoulish Gallery, you're not going to be able to build the best collections, because some of these where I have run 3 mythic bizarre totems and gotten 3 additional build outs or 3 additional red collections out of there, which again, looking at some of these, this is very, very hard to get. But of course, it gave me extra ones when I built these out, when I actually ran the collection with 3 Mythic Bazaar totems, because I'm guaranteed 3. And then if I can pick up more, and then if I can use some of the cards in addition, again, we can build this out in the entirety and get really lucky with some of the collections. But the cost is very, very high when it comes to building them out. People are saying the next Draconic is a tank. Honestly, I think it's a warrior. I hope it's a warrior. Honestly, I know that we have heard that. We've heard that it could be a Draconic warrior because, again, when it comes to the warrior class, there are no heroes. Could be a warrior. Now, of course, it says like it's the defender or the protector of the gate. Could be a tank. Could be a warrior. I am just hoping, and it will be, honestly, it will be stupid if they do another highborn Draconic hero. If the next hero comes out is on the same level as land, if it's a highborn Draconic hero, it'll be silly. It'll be silly that they just, had land. Then we did 2 heroes, which one of those was an awakened hero and a celestial. And if they go back to another highborn Draconic hero, I think people will absolutely lose their mind because it's kind of stupid. It is kind of stupid. Yeah, just what Mesmer said. You have 7 attempts a week. You'll never build the best collections. That is true with the Ghoulish Gallery. If you want the absolute best collections, it requires the Mythic Bazaar totems. It's the way that it's built. It is the way that it will always be built. Again, they need to give us access to the arcane staffs. That's the biggest hurdle. That is the biggest piece I know that a majority of players are missing, is the ability to run and have those arcane staffs and be able to, again, kind of build those out. Now, here's the Esperia. Again, if you caught the video last night, I do not PvP. I'm not a huge fan of PvP, but I know we do have to push this a little bit further to finish out. And if I can beat some of these teams, great. If I lose a couple, again, I'm not really too concerned about it. We try our best when we come in here, and I just skip through it. Every single day, I just skip right through it because, again, PvP is not something that I'm hugely into. I look at even some of the lowers, 198 right there. So we know the level is not going to be super high, but we're still making a little bit of progression kind of one by one. How do I get the elixir in the Ghoulish Gallery? The elixir comes from using the totems. That is it. Yep. Every legendary Bazaar totem you use, you do get the elixir. And again, when you think of the elixir, I have only used the elixir twice with everything that I have, everything that we built within here. I have only used the elixir twice, and I've only used and been able to use it. You don't get enough elixir either. It's really tough. It is really tough. Is buying Alna's souls at the Gladiator shop a bad choice? Honestly, no. Alna still does have a lot of utility. Alna is being used in a lot of, and of course she's going to be used in the PvP aspect. Alna is still being used in a lot of campaign formations. That is the other thing is campaign formations being used. When you start looking at like the Temple Rift, Alna is still being used. But Alna will be used PvP because of the immunity. We're seeing Alna in Iran right now. We are also seeing Alna in Rem still being run. There is a lot. So when you start thinking of the heroes in there, Alna is one that I feel a lot of players are still going to use. You're still going to use it. Is Mahira still valid? Not really. I see Mahira in the campaign formations, and that's it. And again, a lot of the campaign formations, I feel like Mahira is going to be replaced. I feel like Mahira might be a little bit short-lived. And I think Mahira is going to be replaced. I think it, might be a week, might be might be a month, might be a couple months. I feel like Mahira is going to be the point where you're going to have the power creep. Is Iran a decent choice? Honestly, right now, I would probably say yes. I feel like tier list, we're going to see him improve. He's going to move up in the tier list. The reason being, again, Curse Realm, Nightmare Corridor, Treasure Scramble, we are seeing Iran being used in all of those. Wouldn't it be cool if the next Draconic hero into Draconic Saurus? I would love it. I think that would be cool if they did a variation of Saurus, just like they did with Gwen. Yes. If you guys were around for Saurus, guys, Saurus used to be one of the absolute monster heroes that were being used because he was the boss killer. Saurus had the ability to scale damage so high, so fast. He replaced everybody else when Saurus came out as the #1 absolute boss killer. I would love to see. I would love to see the Awakened version of Saurus or a Draconic version of Saurus, which would be cool. What if he was the Gatekeeper, Dale? What if he was the one that we seen as a draconic warrior, as the gatekeeper? And again, I don't want to see him highborn. I don't want to go with that far. Trying to find a team that can defeat the awakened version of Athalia. Really, the only one that I've seen is Chimera. That's usually it. The Chimera team can stall it out depending on the crits, depending on how much damage is in there. You can stall out the awakened version of Athalia because it's very, very heavy crit. It's very, very heavy burst. That is where you can stall it out. And again, I don't see it much. And look at that, guys. We are right on the doorway. I believe it's 12,010. I believe it's just north of 12,000 when we can move in here. And look at the numbers. 1, 2, 5, 13, and 33. That is very, very bad to get through here. This is why for the last step, it does take quite a bit to get through there. What's going on, Soren? Also, hi, new player, love your videos. Thanks for joining us for the stream, guys. I love doing the streams, like I said earlier. It is one of my absolute favorite things that I look forward to doing every single week. Being able to talk to you guys about AFK Arena, being able to go through a lot of the content. And of course, we're going to do the gifting of the membership. Before I forget, I try to note and remember it every single time. So there is the gifting of the membership. And it goes out to Andre. Congratulations, Andre. There is a new, and that's 4 new members. I think that is 4 new members that we had here. Unfortunately, did not see any new subs. So if you're not subbed to the channel, definitely consider subbing to the channel. But that is awesome to see that we have the little hippos right there, even next to Mesmer. It's really cool to see those. I'm at Diamond 1 somehow in the game mode. Most of the players in my mode don't really try. And that's it. So guys, remember with this game mode, we still have a couple more days. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of players will push this game mode and push the game mode very, very high, very, very late. So that is a lot of times what we see is we'll see a lot of progression very late into the game mode, which makes sense because they get to the point where they want to make more progression, where they need to make progression. They do. So if you save some tokens, if you save some diamonds for the very late push in the game mode, that is where, again, a lot of players do make a ton of progression, is late in the game mode to push and really make that final push. Even here, guys, 375. There are some major players still in here. 225, that might be a little bit more feasible for where we're making our progression. But overall, like I said, this is a game mode where late progression in here is what a lot of players do. A lot of players also forget about where they're at or how they're in here, and they do make more late progression. Once you get to Masters, you are locked in there. Once you do hit Masters, that's it. You're good. You can't go below. You can't fall out of Masters, which is the reason why so many players do push all the way to Masters. And I really, really urge you, push as much as you can towards Masters. It is a game changer when you start making progression. Getting to Masters is where you want to be. And maybe it's 21, maybe it's 12,100. 268 right there. That's going to give us 10. That's going to give us 7. What do we need? So 12 again is not going to do it. Let's do this one. Very cool avatar right there. The rainbow hair on an elf. Let's see if we can do this, guys. Is Awaken like a 40 worth it? Worth attack speed? Honestly, I like Leica. So out of those two, Merrick, I would do Leica. Now the reason being, when you think of the Awakened version of Leica, the Awakened version of Leica is very, very dependent on stats, where Chimera, the plus 40, could definitely be there. I like Leica personally because of the damage that she's putting out. You could go both ways though. If you do Leica or if you do Chimera, both of them are incredibly, incredibly strong. Yeah, and like what Mesmer said, if you have a Athalia the 40, the Awakened version of Athalia amplifies the burst damage. And there we go, guys. Congratulations. We have made it to Masters. We'll illuminate our torches. We'll go through the gate. Now we can never get removed out of Masters. We are here. We are stuck here, which of course does give us our heroic rewards. We're almost to the Conqueror frame, moving a little bit more. But these season rewards right here with 25 cards are locked in. That's it. They are locked in their entirety. Where do you think Arila will land in spot? Really high. Right now, I know it is early storm, but I feel like we are going to see the new hero, and we are seeing the new hero and the test server being used in a couple different slots and being used the best in slot. When you think of Aurelia within a support role, she is checking most of the boxes. We are checking pretty much everything. When you think of energy regeneration, that is number one. That is such a high priority. But when you look at the ability to buff damage, to increase attack rating, there's a lot of different places, and they're checking a lot of boxes with the heroes, which is exactly what we see. Now from here, from getting into Masters, I park it until this cooldown is down to probably about the last 15 minutes, because when you think of attacking and moving into the higher tier, you'll get kicked out and you'll literally go back and forth at Masters till you get to the point where you get kicked out, or you make it into the leaderboard essentially. But I don't mess around with it. I leave it right here until this is going to retire. Once that is set, then I'm going to be done. We'll push into Masters, or we'll push in to the top 2,000 if we can get it, if we can hold it. One season we did, a couple seasons we did not. A lot of players get in for, again, the last probably 3 minutes, try to go back and forth and land in that top 2,000 spot, which of course is a little bit of RNG because you can get kicked out of there quite a bit. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it. We got 80,000 diamonds and we landed at what, 504? I think 509, 509 Stargazer Scrolls. We're also going to get the 25 out of the Heroes of Esperia event. And I'm going to continue farming the towers, which I'm hoping will have enough Stargazer Scrolls to go ahead and build out the new hero on Tuesday with just Stargazers, saving our diamonds. Because of course, if the next one is a Draconic hero, I want to use some of my diamonds to buff and build the hero out of the Draconic Islands itself. So getting some of the scrolls and being able to utilize my diamonds in here to build the heroes that are coming. And of course, a couple of heroes we still need to get to 1 star, including Misha. Misha, we need to get to 1 star. And then of course, right here with Meleon getting to 1 star as well. And look at that, Mohammed. Thank you for subbing to the channel, guys. That is our first subscriber to the channel, but thank you for subbing to the channel. It's very cool. But like I said, with Meleon, getting them to a 30 is really basic. Even thinking here with the multitude of heroes we have, I try to build everybody just based on how many shards I have. We have 15,000 shards. I try to take everyone to the plus 30 engraving just for the simple fact that we have so many of these shards and we get them on a regular basis. So for me, the baseline for my account, and you'll notice it, is pretty much a plus 30 signature item. Even a lot of heroes that most players don't even use, I still have them at a plus 30 signature item at a minimum. Just for the simple fact, again, that we do have a lot of resources in here. When new heroes come out, I always take them again to a plus 30 signature item. Makes a big difference. And look at that, 233. This will max out in our entirety on the Elder Tree. So all 5 branches maxed out, waiting for the new hero to continue to maxing these out. But boom, there we go, 223 level on the Elder Tree. That is awesome to see that we finally got that. And it took a long time to max it out, but we finally did. I don't think we can swap Highborn. You can only swap Highborn in here. So within the Rickety card, if you have the heroes built out, you can replace. So if you pick out a Highborn hero, let's say Lan, you can use other Highborn heroes to swap, but I don't know at what point if you're going to be able to swap. Highborns are being treated as Awakens. Yes, that's exactly what they're being treated as. Summon Aurelia in the next live stream. See, I like the idea, Primo, but that means I have to wait a week to get the hero, or essentially 5 days to get the hero. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can, Primo, because I know getting the free copy in there could. Yeah, we could save those and summon them. I'm going to have to see. I'm going to have to see if I can wait or if we have to hop in there to go ahead and build it out. We have 30,000 poke coins. I know we have red cards on the table. We're saving everything till we get the new hero. But all right, guys. So again, that is going to do it. Big shout out to Mesmer for helping with a lot of the questions, and all the new members. Thank you for the love and support for the channel, the new subscribers. Very cool, again, to hop on here, be able to share this with you. We might actually I might wait and do a live stream maybe on Tuesday night. I might look at that. I'll have to see what it looks like on time. Because guys, it's back to school. This week was actually the first week of back to school, which means we have volleyball, we have church, we have football, we have everything that comes with school. It gets kind of crazy around here. It gets busy having 2 young ones, but we're going to have to see exactly what we can do. But all right, guys, again, that is going to do it when it comes to today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a good weekend. We got a lot more content that's coming, including the new heroes. All the changes to the shop are right around the corner, so it's going to be awesome to see. So again, have a good Sunday. Thank you guys for joining the stream. And as always, thank you guys for watching.